Whether you're someone who used to watch wrestling and want to get back into it, or if you've never watched wrestling before and want to see what all the hype is about, this video is for you. 2024 was not just a big deal for the WWE, but for professional wrestling as a whole. And now with Raw going to Netflix, there's going to be a brand new audience of people watching wrestling, and the amount of people is just going to grow even bigger and bigger. So in today's video, we're going to go over the different storylines and all the things going on in WWE for 2025, so that way you could get into it very quickly. We are going to go over the current storylines, the people, the current champions, who's in the main roster, who's on NXT, and just some people that you should know about also. I'll be going over the events that are happening this year, as well as where I get my information from in the world of wrestling. Hi, I'm JLD and I'm a WWE content creator from New York City. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you get some of the best wrestling content out there. Consider becoming a YouTube member. That way you get exclusive perks that regular subscribers do not have, such as early access to videos, emotes during our live stream, special shout outs during the live stream, as well as a special role on our Discord. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now, this is probably gonna be a lot of information for this one singular video. So if you have to stop at any point, feel free to do so. And if you have any questions about any of the storylines, characters, or championship in this video, make sure to put a comment down below. I'll try to respond to whoever I can. And if I miss anything, you can also post it down in the comments too. This was recorded shortly after the Raw on Netflix premiere this past Monday, so just keep in mind that things change over time, and anything I go over in this video will eventually become obsolete as new storylines, characters, and championships change hands. And just to keep things fresh and accurate and you guys are up to date, I try to do 2 of these videos a year, once in January and once in July or August. With that being said though, keep in mind that storylines change, champions change, and rumors that you might see online can be either true or false, or just be switched at the matter of a finger snap. The point of this video is to give you guys a starting ground so you guys understand who people are and what is going on in the wrestling world, and then as you watch wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, whatever you watch every week, you'll be able to get into it much more easier. And for the people who have never watched it, at least you can learn the basics while you're watching this video. And also keep in mind that rumors are simply that. They're just rumors. WWE knows that there's so many different media outlets out there putting so many different rumors about so-and-so's winning a title, so-and-so's joining WWE, someone's leaving WWE, and sometimes WWE uses those rumors to their advantage to give us nice little plot twists throughout the storylines that they put out. I will also be going over NXT just a brief moment. I'm not 100% familiar with NXT, but I will try to give you guys some people that you should know about, as well as who the current champions are. And I will not be talking about AEW or TNA, as I don't watch them enough to really give you guys a full breakdown of what's going on in those shows. But I'm sure there's many other YouTube creators that can give you that information. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Let's go over the current storylines of WWE and some basic information you should know beforehand too. So for those that are returning to WWE and wanting to watch it again, or if you're brand new to it, I guess the first question is, who owns WWE? And if you're thinking it's Vince McMahon, you are wrong. WWE is currently owned by parent company TKO, which is owned by Endeavor. TKO also owns the UFC, so basically UFC and the WWE are brother and sister company. Vince McMahon is not involved in the WWE in any capacity. He has resigned from his positions in the WWE. He has sold all of his shares due to sexual assault allegations that have come up since last year. And currently it's Triple H who is running the creative process in the WWE, so he basically runs all the storylines and everything that's going on here, and he has been given so much respect for his work behind the scenes as the chief content officer or chief creative officer. I always forget which one it is. So now let's go over the current champions. There are a bunch of championships in the WWE, so I'm going to go over Raw and SmackDown, and a little later I'll go over NXT also. So the current WWE champion is Cody Rhodes. He defeated Roman Reigns last year at WrestleMania to win the Undisputed Championship, and this is the biggest prize in all of WWE. This is the main championship that everybody wants. The current World Heavyweight Champion is Gunther, who defeated Damian Priest back at SummerSlam last year to win the title. The WWE Tag Team Champions are DIY, who defeated the Motor City Machine Guns on a random episode of SmackDown, and the World Tag Team Champions are the War Raiders, who defeated the Judgment Day a few weeks back. The current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions are Bianca Belair and Naomi. Naomi is actually taking over for Jade Cargill, who is currently injured due to injury and being assaulted backstage on SmackDown like a few months ago. The new WWE Women's Champion is Tiffany Stratton after cashing in her Money in the Bank on Nia Jax actually last week on SmackDown. It was an amazing moment to see. And the Women's World Champion is now Rhea Ripley, who defeated Liv Morgan on the first Raw on Netflix episode. Your current Intercontinental Champion is Braun Breaker after defeating Jey Uso for the belt on a random Monday Night Raw due to the bloodline, and the current United States Champion is Shinsuke Nakamura after defeating LA Knight at Survivor Series. In regards to the Money in the Bank briefcase, if you guys don't know what Money in the Bank is, the briefcase allows you 1 year to cash in an opportunity for a world title championship match at any time, anywhere. Your women's Money in the Bank winner was Tiffany Stratton, but last Friday she did cash in to defeat Nia Jax and win the women's title. And for the men's Money in the Bank briefcase, Drew McIntyre actually won it last year at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. However, he cashed it in that same night but ended up losing because of CM Punk. We recently introduced the WWE Women's United States Championship and the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, with the US Championship being held by Chelsea Green, and the Women's Intercontinental Championship will be determined next Monday on Raw when Dakota Kai faces Lyra Valkyria. So right now for the Intercontinental title, there is no champion for the women's division. And then your general managers for Raw and SmackDown. For Raw, we got Adam Pearce, and SmackDown, we got Nick Aldis. All right, so you know who the main champions are. Now, where can you watch WWE? So as of this past week on Monday Night Raw, you can now watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix. That's right. If you got a Netflix account, you can now watch Monday Night Raw every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to watch Friday Night SmackDown, you can watch it on the USA Network. And if you want to watch NXT, you can watch it on the CW Network. Currently, PLEs, also known as Premium Live Events, which are their main events like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, you can find those on the Peacock app. There's also a smaller show that you can watch on Twitter every Wednesday, which is called WWE Speed. It's where they try to do 3-minute matches. I don't really watch these. I don't think I've even watched one. If that's something that you're interested in, WWE Speed can be found on X, I think on Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Now, that's for the United States. Now, if you're outside of the United States, I believe everything is on Netflix. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are all on Netflix if you are outside of the US. Now, I'm not too sure about the PLEs, so just do your research on where you can find those. So NXT, I didn't really go over NXT in my previous 2 videos that I did last year, but I think it's time to talk a little bit about it because there's a lot of things going on in there that I think everybody, whether you watch Raw, SmackDown, or just NXT, should know probably. So what is NXT? NXT is WWE's developmental brand where they recruit new WWE superstars to go through the ropes and learn how to be a superstar, learn how to be on the mic, learn how to fight before they hit the main roster. It's basically the modern day Florida Championship Wrestling, or OVW back in the day. It is currently run by Shawn Michaels. Yes, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels runs the creative sessions in NXT. And they like to recruit a lot of college athletes because they already have the athletic part of it and all they got to do is teach them how to be on the mic. So it's a little easier when they are athletes, but they've also brought in family members of current roster members, and it's cool to see how they've worked it, and it's been really cool to watch a bunch of the shows. The current general manager of NXT is Ava, also known as The Rock's daughter, and NXT does their recordings at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. They do go to other places too for their PLEs or for special events, but mostly they're in Orlando. Last year, we also were blessed to see an NXT/TNA relationship where we were able to see a bunch of TNA stars on NXT and vice versa, a bunch of NXT stars on TNA, with the 2 biggest ones being Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry. And for the current NXT champions, we have the NXT champion Obafemi, who actually won this past week the title against Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. We have the NXT women's champion Julia, who defeated Roxanne Perez, also on the same date. We have the NXT North American Championship, which is held by Tony D'Angelo. We have the NXT Women's North American Championship, which is held by Fallon Henley. And the current NXT Tag Team Champions are Axiom and Nathan Frazier. There's also this big ass trophy called the NXT Heritage Cup, which currently is held by Lexis King, but I don't really know too much about it or why it's a trophy and not a belt. You guys figure it out. I don't know. And for NXT, there are a lot of people you should know about if you're going to get into the NXT thing. I would still recommend you watch Raw and SmackDown first just a little bit before you get into what NXT is, but if you know what NXT is and like it, these are some of the people you should know about. So for the men's division, there are some people that you guys should know about. It should be Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Eddie Thorpe, Ethan Page, and Lexis King. And for the women's division, they got a stacked card. We got Stephanie Valkyr, we got Zarya, we got Julia, we got Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and Kalani Jordan. So if you feel comfortable watching a third brand NXT, I would recommend it. It's freaking awesome. That's a lot of backstory and information on some of the characters and some of the people that are in the WWE space. Now I'm gonna go over some important things that have happened since my last video back in July 2024. But of course, if you have to stop at any point, like I said before, feel free to do so. This is supposed to be an educational video so you can learn everything going on in WWE, so you can watch and have a good time too. So one of the biggest things to happen since my last video was Roman Reigns finally returned at SummerSlam last year to confront and attack Solo Sikoa during his match with Cody Rhodes. And since then, they've been feuding for months and months and months at end. And finally on the Raw at Netflix, we finally saw Roman Reigns get Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala, and all is right in the world with our OTC, the only tribal chief, getting the Ula Fala back. For those that were looking forward to WWE War Games with the Bloodline, it did in fact fact happen. But I feel like it left a lot of questions of what's next, especially for the Bloodline. The way they even set up the match with CM Punk on one side and Bronson Reed on the other, it just kind of seemed like a mix of everybody. They could have literally just done a 4-on-4 of the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. And as a match that was highly anticipated and was probably going to be the peak of the Bloodline, it kind of just lacked a few things, even though the match still delivered anyway. And it kind of left me uncertain of what's to come in the future with them, especially WrestleMania coming soon. And a few days before the War Games match, Paul Heyman finally returned after being attacked by the Bloodline a few months before back in June. And with Paul Heyman, it's made me wonder, is he going to betray Roman Reigns? Is he going to go with CM Punk? Is Paul Heyman just loyal to Roman Reigns the entire time? Or is he going to go with Solo or The Rock? We'll find out as WrestleMania season comes. But it was really nice to see him return and hear that, ladies and gentlemen. And in that War Games match, at the end, CM Punk and Roman Reigns did have some tension in the beginning of the match, but at the end, they actually gave each other a handshake and were cool with each other, which is very surprising as to what's going to happen with them soon, with CM Punk wanting a favor from Paul Heyman in the future. So is it going to be something with the Royal Rumble? Is he going to want a match with Roman? Is Roman going to cost Punk a title, or is Punk going to cost Roman a title? We'll find out. But as of right now, there's no info on what that favor is, since CM Punk is currently in a different storyline at the moment. This past July, the John Cena Farewell Tour was announced, and John Cena, as of now, where he will be competing for the final time, full-time with the WWE for the entire year of 2025. But after 2025, he will be retiring from the WWE for good. I'm sure he'll return in future dates after that, but as a full-time competitor, this is his final year. Since our last video, the Judgment Day completely imploded, with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest no longer being a part of this new Judgment Day. Finn Balor betrayed Priest, Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan betrayed Rhea Ripley, so it's just been wild how this has gone through. And Raquel Rodriguez even returned to side with Liv Morgan. But even with all of that, it seems like there might be a little bit of tension between Finn Balor and Liv Morgan, especially since Liv Morgan lost her Women's World Championship to Rhea Ripley on the first Raw on Netflix. So I guess we'll see in the upcoming weeks what Finn Balor has to say about that. Logan Paul is no longer United States champion after losing to LA Knight back at SummerSlam, and he took some time off because he is now a dad. But he made a surprise appearance at the WWE headquarters for the Raw and Netflix party and said that he is now a full-time member of Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes is still your WWE Undisputed Champion since WrestleMania, but a lot of people have just been wondering what's next with the belt. This is a really good storyline going on with Cody and Kevin Owens, but who's going to dethrone Cody? Who's going to get the belt back? Is Roman going to win it back? Is The Rock going to win it? Is Cody going to just stay champion for a while more? You let me know in the comments what you think. Jey Uso is still the amazing phenomenon that he is, and he actually won the Intercontinental Championship for a few weeks after defeating Braun Breaker, but because of the bloodline, unfortunately, it did not last long. But it was a really cool and emotional moment for him, so I'm happy that he was able to live that for himself. For those that like TNA, the Motor City Machine Guns are now on the WWE SmackDown brand, so you guys can see the tag team that basically ran TNA for God knows how long on the SmackDown brand. And they actually won already the WWE Tag Team titles for a few weeks before DIY defeated them. Like I said before, there are women's mid-card titles now, which I'm very happy about because I feel like the women's division is so stacked on Raw, SmackDown, NXT that they shouldn't only be fighting for either tag team gold or the world championship gold. There should be something in the middle, so there's something people can fight for no matter what. And I think they tested this out first with NXT when they released the NXT North American Women's Championship, and that was actually a really big success with Kalani Jordan being the first ever champion, that they probably said, okay, let's move it to Raw and SmackDown. And the crowd went crazy when Chelsea Green won the US title, so I'm happy for her. At the moment, Becky Lynch is not with WWE, but she has been teased to come back very soon, especially with her being on the Raw on Netflix commercial, but she did take a few months off to just be with her daughter and just enjoy life and be with her family. She was supposed to leave after WrestleMania, but because of the whole Rhea Ripley injury, she decided to stay for a little bit until that was all handled with Liv Morgan winning the Women's World title. So she could either return during one of the Raw on Netflix episodes, or she might return at the Royal Rumble. We'll find out. Randy Orton is injured at the moment after receiving a pile driver from Kevin Owens, and it's expected that he could come back at the Royal Rumble during Kevin and Cody Rhodes' match at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. And one of the biggest plot twists of the freaking year was in 2024, we had the 10-year anniversary of the New Day with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and Big E turned their back on Big E, which if you guys don't know, Big E is actually injured with a very serious neck injury, which could cost him his career completely, and he hasn't competed in a few years since then. But they've been teasing that Big E could be cleared to compete by putting him in this segment where Kofi Kingston and Xavier just completely turned their back on him, and the crowd has not been liking it at all. And they've basically been giving him the Dominic Mysterio treatment with all the boos that are going on. So those are all the things that happened since my last video back in July of 2024. But now I'm going to go over all the current storylines. So if you are new to wrestling, or if you're trying to get back into wrestling, these are the storylines you should pay attention to. And if you're already at this point of the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. It would mean the world. If you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. So the first thing we're going to go over is the John Cena farewell tour. As mentioned previously in the video, he will be retiring at the end of 2025. He announced this past Monday that he will be at the Royal Rumble to try and win the 17th World Championship to officially break Ric Flair's record. No word yet on who he's going to be facing on one-on-one action soon. It could be Gunther, Logan Paul, it could be Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. We'll find out. Another thing going on Monday Night Raw is Drew McIntyre is going after every Bloodline member that cost him any kind of championship or match during his career. So when the Bloodline was going strong, Drew McIntyre tried to win the World Championship at Clash at the Castle back in 2022, and Solo Sikoa was the reason that he lost. So he's basically made it his mission to attack every single Bloodline member and just try to give him payback for what happened to him. And I love Drew McIntyre, so if I love Drew McIntyre, you should too. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa recently had tribal combat to see who should win the Ula Fala. If you guys don't know what the Ula Fala is, it is a red Samoan necklace that is used to represent being a high chief, being a high level role in the Samoan dynasty or something of that nature. I'm not Samoan. Please don't attack me in the comments. But it looks like that right there. So on the first Raw on Netflix, Roman Reigns defeated Solo Sikoa to win that back. We'll find out what's next on the road for Roman Reigns and even for Solo Sikoa and his Temu bloodline. Tiffany Stratton is now the WWE Women's Champion after defeating Nia Jax and cashing in that Money in the Bank. But before that was going on, Tiffany Stratton was basically being picked on by Nia Jax and her little protege Candice LeRae, which now that Tiffany Stratton has won the title, you already know Nia Jax is going to try and win it back at the Royal Rumble, and I'm sure Candice LeRae is going to be influence on what happens in that match. And before that, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton were best friends, and in real life they actually are really good best friends. So to see them finally like betray each other is insane. We have the Bianca Belair Jade Cargill mystery. Who attacked Jade Cargill backstage while Bianca Belair was in her match? Everybody's saying that Jade Cargill was attacked by Bianca Belair because she was jealous of her or just didn't want her as a tag team partner anymore. Some people are saying it's Naomi. Some people are saying it's neither of them. I even put a TikTok video out there that Jade Cargill should attack Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble as soon as she enters the Rumble match. And that would basically solidify that it was Bianca. But there's been a lot of clash on who it is. A lot of people have told me, no, it's not Bianca, it's Naomi, or no, it's not Naomi, blah, blah, blah. We'll find out. We have Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens feuding right now. Kevin Owens is currently the holder of the Winged Eagle version of the WWE Championship, which he stole from Cody Rhodes at this past Saturday night's main event. Kevin Owens is mad at Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes has basically sided with Roman Reigns on certain issues, and Kevin Owens doesn't like that because the bloodline at one point was basically ruining Kevin's life. So Kevin Owens feels betrayed and wants to take Cody Rhodes' title from him, even injuring Randy Orton in the process and giving Cody Rhodes a nice little pile driver so that way Cody Rhodes cannot compete until the Rumble. The DIY and Motor City Machine Guns feud is heating up as of recently, especially with the Street Profits getting involved in some way. But the Motor City Machine Guns were the tag team champions. DIY turned heel and took the titles away from them because of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa just being the heels that they are now. And this is significant because at one point the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY were all in TNA and they grew up wrestling together. Like they were all in the ropes together at some point in the indies. So to the casual WWE fan that doesn't watch it that much, it's just like, okay, two tag teams. But for those who have been watching wrestling for a while, this is a big deal. Another current storyline is that the Judgment Day could be imploding again, especially with Liv Morgan losing the Women's World Championship and Finn Balor losing the World Tag Team Championship, and Finn Balor making smart remarks towards Dominic Mysterio at random points of Monday Night Raws. I feel so bad for Carlito though, because he's just kind of there. All jokes aside though, I really think JD McDonough has some potential. I know we talked a lot of crap about him with his big head and Lord Farquaad and stuff, but he's really proven himself on the main roster. The feud with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan might be over unless there's a rematch happening at the Rumble, but Rhea Ripley defeated Liv Morgan this past Monday on the first Raw on Netflix to win the Women's World Championship once again. Either Becky Lynch could be the next competitor or Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day is just going to come crumbling down in the process. It's hard to say what's next, especially when somebody just won a championship. The Wyatt Six, which is a group formed by Uncle Howdy, also known as Bo Dallas, has been feuding with Final Testament for God knows how long. If you guys don't know Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy, he is the brother of the late Bray Wyatt, who passed away a few years back, and they're keeping his memory alive through this amazing group, even keeping the same theme song that Bray Wyatt had. We got the New Day going on, where everybody now is just talking shit to the New Day, saying the New Day sucks. And they're basically getting the Dominic Mysterio treatment with all of the boos whenever they try to talk in the middle of the ring. And everybody just hates them now. There's a rumor going around that Big E is actually cleared to compete and will be returning at the Royal Rumble. The question is, will he go after Xavier and Kofi during that time, or is he going to wait till something like WrestleMania or maybe sooner? But if you guys haven't seen that New Day segment from the 10-year anniversary, I recommend you watch it as soon as you can. And then the final storyline I can think of is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. They recently fought each other at the first Raw on Netflix, with CM Punk being the winner, but that is not going to be the only match that they do together. So you see, CM Punk and Seth Rollins actually have real life hate for each other, and they highly dislike each other for things that they've said behind the scenes and in interviews. Seth Rollins doesn't like the fact that CM Punk left the company and talked shit about it, went to AEW, and then just came back when the money was right. And CM Punk just doesn't like that Seth Rollins thinks he runs the place. So maybe going into the Royal Rumble, we'll see something. Maybe at WrestleMania, we'll see a championship match. Maybe Rollins or Punk will win a world title and they fight for it at WrestleMania. So those are the current storylines going on in the WWE. I probably missed a few, or if you have any questions about any of them, make sure you put them down in the comments. I want to make sure you guys are informed and understand what you're getting into when you watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown every single week. Now, of course, those are all the storylines, but there's also a lot of fan favorites and people who are currently what we call over. When we say that somebody is over, that means the crowd loves them, and we are talking about them a lot. And some of those people are Jey Uso with the yeet. If you see people doing this, then he's doing what's called the yeet. We got Chelsea Green, who's our current US Women's Champion. We have Tiffany Stratton, who just won the WWE Women's Championship. We got the Wyatt Six. We got John Cena. We got Damian Priest, who was an ex-member of the Judgment Day, who has now been a babyface for a while now, with Rhea Ripley as the Terror Twins. I personally love the Jacob Fatu character with the "I love you" solo, but it is getting a little tiring, and I wish that WWE would push Jacob just a little bit more, because those who know who Jacob Fatu is know that he is amazing on the mic and he is amazing in the ring. So to keep him just saying "I love you" solo kind of sucks for his character. And the fact that there was a sign that said "make Jacob Fatu a Fortnite character" is absolutely amazing. Ludwig Kaiser needs to win a championship, and that's a personal opinion of mine. I like how he performs. I like that has his own character now outside of Gunther and Imperium. So give this man a belt. I'm not gonna lie, Solo Sikoa has kind of grown on me a little bit. Don't clip that. We also have a bunch of injuries on the main roster that we hope they recover from very, very soon. And those people are Jade Cargill, Randy Orton, Bronson Reed, Tonga Loa, AJ Styles, Asuka, and Ilya Dragunov. Now, some of these might be storylines, some of them might be real life. So just do your research on who you like. So when it comes to the WWE PLEs, the premium live events, they are usually announced a few months before the actual show, just so they can get ticket sales and just promotion all around for the event, with the exception of WrestleMania, which is usually announced a year beforehand. But here are some of the expected PLE dates. Obviously, these can change, more can be added as time goes by, so just understand what the dates are, and you want to go to them, you should look them up, and if they're going to your city. But the first ones are going to be the Royal Rumble, which is going to be February 1st of this year in Indianapolis. We have Elimination Chamber coming up, which is March 1st in Toronto, Canada. We got WrestleMania 41, which is going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is a 2-night event, April 19th and April 20th. We have SummerSlam, which is going to be the very first SummerSlam. That's going to be 2 nights, and it's going to be in the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where the New York Giants play. That's going to be August 2nd and August 3rd. And the Royal Rumble of 2026 has actually been announced that is going to be in Saudi Arabia, which a lot of people are mixed feelings on. So let me know what you think of that. And then the rumors. Like I said before, rumors change at any time. Some rumors could be completely false and have like a legitimate source, and some rumors might be true but might not have the publicity that it should have. And one of those rumors is that The Rock could potentially face Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, or face Roman Reigns for the title of Tribal Chief. Now, on the first Raw on Netflix, The Rock was being all nice to Cody Rhodes, all nice to Roman Reigns, but maybe that's just all part of the plan. And maybe we'll see The Rock hit somebody with a belt, maybe Rama Rhodes. We have rumors that Charlotte Flair could be returning from her injury and returning at the Royal Rumble. We have Alexa Bliss, who could be returning with the Wyatt Six to help out Nikki Cross. We also think Jade Cargill could return at the Royal Rumble and confront whoever attacked her, which I still think is Bianca Belair. We also think Big E is medically cleared to enter the Royal Rumble, and if he does, then that music is gonna make the crowd go insane, especially as he goes after Xavier and Kofi in the ring. And in terms of the Samoan Dynasty, we have Hikuleo and Lance Anoa'i, who could be making their appearances in NXT very, very soon. Some important superstar returns as well as superstar debuts include Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam, the Motor City Machine Guns debuting on Friday Night SmackDown from TNA. We also have Lillian Garcia returning to full-time announcement for the Monday Night Raw brand, but recently that was switched over to SmackDown. We also have Penta returning from AEW to the WWE, which is going to be happening on the second Raw on Netflix against Chad Gable, hopefully. And we have Julia, Stephanie Valkyrie, and Zarya, who debuted in the WWE a few months back under their NXT brand. And the current announcers for the WWE for the main roster are Lillian Garcia for Friday Night SmackDown and Alicia Taylor for Monday Night Raw. Samantha Irvin is no longer with the WWE. And I promised you guys I'd give you guys some information of where I get my wrestling news. A lot of it is usually social media, to be fair, and the official WWE website, but there are some reputable news sources out there that I think you guys would enjoy. So some of them include Sportskeeda, Fightful, Ringside News, WrestleMania, What Culture, Wrestling World, Wrestling News Co., and just any social media accounts you see that have a reputable audience. Now, you got all the information from me that you could to learn about what's going on in the WWE this year in 2025. Now, the question is, how do you grasp all that information so quickly and know so much about so many people? And the answer to that is, it's like any other reality show. As you watch it every week after week after week, you learn who people are, you learn the faces, and you learn what is going on in terms of storylines with certain people. It is no different with the WWE. Just because they're athletic and know how to wrestle, that doesn't make it a non-storytelling experience. So my advice to you is just keep watching. The good thing about WWE is that it never ends. It's not a series finale where WWE ends and someone wins a title and it's never seen again. The WWE will always be around, and there's going to be new storylines every single year. So just get into it, just watch it, and eventually you're going to just enjoy what you see and maybe like some superstars. So I know this is a lot, and I'm sure that you have a lot of questions after watching this, or maybe it helped you out big time. Maybe you want to watch it with your kids, maybe you want to watch it with your parents, or maybe you want to go to a show, or whatever the case is. So if you enjoyed this video, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you get some of the best wrestling content out there. And again, feel free to watch this video as you need. Come back to it. If there's certain things you want to watch back and over just so you can understand it more, this is the video to do so. I will also be making another one of these videos in the middle of 2025, probably around the June or July area, once we get to a halfway point of the year. And with all that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.